Hey boys and girls, I've got a beautiful book called Pup and Bear, written by Kate Banks, illustrated by Naoko Stoop. Do you know anything about the Arctic? This story takes place in the Arctic. Okay, just call out what you know about the Arctic. Right, I heard somebody say it's very cold. You're absolutely right. Okay, who was that? Was that Danny? Was that Reese? Was that Truly? Hi, ladies. Hi, girls at Miss Shirley's. Hey, Sam and Henry. Hi, Samantha and Benny. Zara and Oliver, you're in the front room. Daddy's reading to you right now. Hi, Iris. Hi, Hannah and Noah. Hi, Kayla. Hey, Matea and Madeline. Hi, Zachary, Ari, and Colin. Hi, Ben and Lillian. Hey, Ron, my reading teacher friend. Let's have a great story. This is a story about caring. Is there someone that you care a lot about? Can you tell that these animals care about each other? Yes, you can. You can tell just by looking. If you have a stuffed animal you want to hold for the story, go ahead and grab it. Go ahead. It takes place out in the Arctic, and we know it's very cold there. Pup and Bear. Okay, did you get your stuffed animal? Are you ready? What's that? Right, it's an owl. Whoosh! When the great growl owls scooped down, screeching, whoo-hoo, the Arctic wolves knew that the big freeze was on its way. How did they know? Did the owl say that? Okay, I think I heard Sammy say, yeah, nature, they have a way, they know things, and they have a way of sharing that information, don't they? They took shelter in a snowdrift, and they listened to the fierce wind holler and roar. They watched the snow blow in spirals, wrapping the world in a fluffy white coat. You know what spirals mean? Right, going round and round. Would you like to be out there in that weather? No, I wouldn't either. Uh-oh, what happened? But then the wind's bitter cold breath turned warm, and the sun appeared. The big melt came, and one lone pup found itself on a sheet of ice, spinning out to sea. Uh-oh. What's the problem? Whisper to someone next to you, what's the problem? Right, this little pup is all by itself. That's not safe, is it? Let's find out what happens. The pup slid into the water. He swam and he swam. When he reached land, he burrowed into a snowbank. He was tired and wanted his mother. The pup closed his eyes and fell asleep, listening to the throb of silence across the still landscape. Oh, he's all by himself. That's not good, is it? What's going to happen? He woke to the feel of a cold nose against his fur. The smell was familiar. It was a polar bear. You are not my mother, said the pup, flattening his ears against his head. I am not your mother, said the polar bear, but I can cuddle you and keep you safe. Oh, that's nice. The pup was shy and frightened. Aren't you going to eat me, he asked. Polar bears eat wolves. Not this one, said the polar bear, shaking her head. Climb on my back, and I will take you to my den. What do you think? Should the baby bear cub, should the cub trust the polar bear? He's a little little wolf cub. Should he trust the polar bear? Let's see. The pup stretched a paw forward cautiously. Then he climbed onto the polar bear's back. Oh, that's nice. And they crossed the tundra under the watchful eyes of a trio of baby puffins learning to fly. How many is a trio? Danny, how many? Did you say 3? That's right. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that beautiful picture. Does that show caring? It sure does. Back at the den, the polar bear licked and cleaned the pup. I am not your mother, she said, but I can feed you and keep you warm. The next day, they set off across the wintry tundra. And tundra is the word for the land in the Arctic. Here they are together. When they spotted a walrus with long, sharp tusks, the polar bear bellowed and shuffed. Why do you think the polar bear's doing that? Right, probably to scare him and let him know, don't mess with us. Where are we going? Asked the pup as they neared the water. I am not your mother, said the polar bear, but I can show you where to catch a fish. They passed a snow goose perched on a nest of eggs. So these are some of the animals that live in the Arctic. They sniffed the trail of a seal as he tried to outsmart them. And they stopped at the water's edge, where the fish and the lemmings came and went to the wondrous wheel of life. So this is life up in the Arctic. Is this different than your world? Is this different from where you live? Yeah, I'll wait. Tell someone next to you, how is this different from where you live? Right, you go to the store to get food. You don't go out and search for it out in the wild, do you? The sun shone down on the crisp, crackling snow, and the polar bear rolled in a snowbank. Come on, she said to the pup. I am not your mother, but I can play with you. Is that something you might do in the snow? Sure, so that's something that's the same. But when the pup tugged too hard at the polar bear's fur, the bear growled. I am not your mother, she said, but I can scold you. Then she nuzzled the pup and tickled his tummy. Is that something that happens with your mom or dad? Do they sometimes have to scold you? What does that mean, scold? Right, reprimand or yell at you, raise their voice to you. Yeah, that happens with everybody sometimes. Tired at last, the pup curled up against the bear, and they napped, listening to the wind whimpering and sighing. Oh, isn't that beautiful? The earth turned round and round, and the big freeze came, followed by the big melt, until at last the polar bear nudged the wolf, who wasn't a pup any longer. I am not your mother, she said, but I know it's time for you to go. She nuzzled the wolf one last time, and the wolf nuzzled her back. Can you see how the pup has grown? Look at that. Then he walked out into the wild world. He's no longer a pup anymore. He's turned into a full-grown wolf. Did you notice his color change? That's what happens in the Arctic. It's like camouflage for the animals. The wolf howled to the midnight sun, which glowed on the horizon, where day ended and night began, and he was answered by the cry of another wolf. Oh, I wonder who that was. Soon he was leading his own pack across the frozen tundra. And that's what wolves do in the Arctic, don't they? Then one day, the wolf came upon a polar bear cub huddled in a snowdrift. Where's your mother? Asked the wolf. But the cub didn't know. The wolf sniffed the cub and rubbed its fur with a wet nose. You are not my mother, said the cub, cowering. I am not your mother, said the wolf, but I can cuddle you and keep you warm. Does that sound familiar? Right, is that what happened at the beginning of the story? Aren't you going to eat me, asked the cub. Wolves eat polar bears. Not this one, said the wolf, shaking its head. Climb on my back. I will take you to my den. Do you remember when that happened in the beginning? The polar bear clambered onto the wolf's back. I am not your mother, said the wolf, but you can stay with me until you're big enough to be on your own. Oh, is that so nice? And the wolf led the pack back across the tundra, along the path that went round and round in the wondrous wheel of life. And here's the other animals in the tundra. And that's how they all live together out there. The end. Was that a nice story? Did you like that story? So you can be friends and you don't have to be the same. Even different animals can be friends with each other and help each other out. So what can you draw? Can you draw me a picture of some animals being friends together? It could be the pup and the bear, or it can be a cat and a dog, or whatever you decide. Or it can be you and a bunny. So I can't wait to see what you come up with. So draw me a great picture or two and write some words or sentences to go with it. Just like Miss Shirley did with the girls, send it to me and I'll show it to all of you on YouTube and everyone can see your beautiful artwork. Okay, have a great day. Love ya. Bye.